And at the time that I have together with you today, I'd like to share some stories and to challenge you to think about a series of questions that I would like to share with you. Now, everybody in the room today falls into one of four different groups. You have never been sexually intimate with another person, and you do not intend to be sexually intimate until you're married. Or you've never been sexually intimate with another person, but you're not sure about sexual intimacy before marriage. Or you have been sexually intimate, perhaps just one time, with another person, and you don't see anything wrong with it, or at least you didn't before you came to the conference today. Or finally, you have been sexually intimate and you now feel it was a mistake, or maybe you're not sure what you want to do in the future. Regardless of which of these four groups you fall into, I would ask you to listen to what I have to share with you with an open heart and an open mind. I'd like to share with you a way of thinking about sexual decisions that will help you make good decisions, decisions you won't regret. There are a lot of people out there, as Jonathan Karen pointed out, who have made decisions that they deeply regret. Here's a story about a young man. He says, "A year ago I started dating a girl, 2 years younger. We fell head over heels in love. When I go to her house, her parents would go to bed early. We started necking a little, and then all the time. I started getting a little fresh. She resisted at first, but eventually she gave in for fear of losing me. Then one night we had a terrible argument. She hit me, and I hit her back. I've never forgiven myself for that. She told her mother everything that happened between us. You can imagine what happened after that. I was going to college at the time. I couldn't concentrate on my studies, so I decided to drop out of school and join the Navy. I saw her on the street before I left for basic training. She cried and said she still felt the same way about me, but it was too late. I'd give anything in the world if she had stuck to her guns and I hadn't been so persistent. Any girl who thinks she has to put out to keep a guy is crazy. I would have stayed with her if she'd only let me hold her hand." So there's a guy with deep regrets. Now here's a young woman who does not have regrets. She says, "My high school and college years were the best years of my life. I learned that no to sex meant yes to fun. My reputation as a virgin got out fast. I had more dates, better grades, and good quality friendships. Guys knew they didn't have to perform sexually for me, so we could concentrate on getting to know each other and having a great time." And here's a 30-year-old husband who doesn't have regrets. He says, "It wasn't easy, but I'm so glad we waited. I'm healthy, I love my wife, and I just don't have the baggage that a lot of my friends do." So how do we live a life without regrets? How do we make decisions that we'll be proud of? Now, I'd like to say a special word at the start to anybody in the audience who falls into those third and fourth groups who perhaps has already been sexually intimate. You might be thinking, well, it's too late for me. I'm already involved. And I would like to challenge you to realize that it's never too late to make a different decision. We all have free will. We can all choose a different path. You can't change the past, but you can choose your future. Now, let me give you an example of someone who has made a fresh start. This is someone I happen to know personally because she was a student in my college class. I teach a course in character education in the master's degree program at our school. And she was a student in that class. She was 22 years old at the time. She was a brand new elementary school teacher in her first year of teaching elementary school. And for her project in my course, she wrote a paper called "Teaching My Younger Sister About Sex and Love." And in that paper, she told about how she herself, as a young woman, had already had 2 sexual relationships, which she now considered a mistake. And she said she felt it was her responsibility to teach her younger sister, Kathy, who was 14, and her best friend, Michelle, about the philosophy of abstinence, which she herself had only recently embraced. She said, "I wanted them," because she said both of them were still virgins, "to realize how important it is to hold on to that purity." She said our conversations began when she overheard her sister Kathy and her friend Michelle talking about another girl that they refer to as a slut. And she said, "Why do you call this girl a slut?" And Michelle answered, "Because she's already slept with 8 guys. She's easy." And then my student said, "Well, why do you think she's so promiscuous?" And Kathy, her sister, said, "Because she's trying to keep a boyfriend." And then my student said, "Is that working for her? Is she able to keep guys by having intercourse with them?" And she made the point that guys, boys, come and go, regardless of whether girls have intercourse with them. And then we talked about the feelings that a girl has after she's given a part of herself to a guy and he rejects her and dumps her. And we talked about the courage that it takes to say no, to resist sexual pressure, and to hold on to your chastity. She said, "I then told them about the sexual relationships that I had had in my life and how I wish those had never happened." And she said, "I had recently disclosed to my boyfriend that I no longer wanted to have sex with him, that I made a decision to wait for marriage. He said he couldn't do that." So then my student said to her younger sister and her friend, "What do you think about this relationship? Is it worth continuing?" And they both said no. If he loved you, he would wait. And if he's not willing to wait, then he doesn't really love you. The relationship isn't worth continuing. And she said, "I was very proud of their answer." She said, they now are both more confident in their virginity and have each committed themselves to the goal of saving sex for marriage. So there's a young woman who has made a new start. So you can't regain your physical virginity, but you can regain chastity, which is a moral decision at any moment. The decision to save all sexual intimacy from this time forward for the person that you marry. Now, another question I'd like to put to you is, what makes us happy in life? Jonathan and Karen, in a number of ways, touched on this. All of us have a deep desire to be happy. It's built into us. But what is it that truly makes us happy? In fact, people who have studied cultures around the world have discovered the secrets to a happy life. It turns out that in societies around the world, people understand, who have really thought about this, that there are 3 sources of genuine, lasting happiness. The first is maturity of character, being the best person that you can be. That's a source of happiness. Second, loving relationships, friendship, marriage, family. That's a source of authentic happiness. And third, making a positive difference in somebody else's life, touching their life for good. That's a source of authentic, lasting happiness. Now, let me say a bit about the first of these. What does it mean to have maturity of character, to be the best person that you can be? Character means having the right stuff on the inside. Qualities like honesty and respect and compassion for others and self-control and humility and a positive attitude. These are qualities that make us a person of character. They're the key to self-respect. They're the key to earning the respect of other people. They're the key to positive interpersonal relationships. They're the key to a successful and lasting marriage. They're the key to achievements that you can be truly proud of.